What's good, y'all? It is Tuesday, January 20th. My name is Patrick, and you are tuned into The Morning Show. All right, it is 11:23 right now as I'm recording this on Monday, January 19th. I have just finished watching the college football national championship, and as much as it pains me to say, the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions in football for the first time ever. Oh my goodness. It happened. I've been talking about it a little bit here in the last few weeks as the playoff has been going on and as IU has been marching their way towards this moment. Absolutely. Sorry, I still have the game. I have like the post game going on, so you might be hearing some of that, but it was a great football game, honestly. What's the score? 27-21. And yeah, wow. I'm just going to do a quick recap of the game from my perspective, some things that stood out to me, because I'm a sports analyst, I guess. And then I got one other thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to bed. And then we will get into all of the other stuff later this week. Really quickly, though, thank you to everybody who tuned in to episode 12 with Carla Lopez Owens. Fantastic conversation, really incredible human being, and I appreciate y'all who have been tapping in with me and all of our episodes that we've had dropped on Mondays. That means a lot. So, all right, the game. Like I said, first half, honestly, pretty boring. 10-0, IU. Miami did not look ready to play. They looked really timid. They looked scared of the moment. Pretty interesting to me. I thought that, especially because they were playing in Miami, but I believe I heard on the broadcast that it was 60-40 IU to Miami fans. They did the aerial shot of the stadium, and I'm not going to lie, it looked pretty crimson. Second half, though, came out ready to play, scored on a big run. Number 4, Fletcher, I believe his last name, scored. Oh. Okay, they're setting off straight up fireworks out here behind us. Probably waking up my child. Come on, fireworks people. Oh my gosh, this episode's going to be hilarious. Man, I saw them flashes in my house. Where are they shooting those off from? Looked like they were shooting them off in our yard. My goodness. All right. Anyways, long story short, some specific things that I just want to talk about as a sports fan, as something that I was watching in the game. Fernando Mendoza, real deal quarterback. And by real deal, I mean he is a competitor, and he played pretty well in the first half. In the second half, especially at the beginning, started off a little bit rocky. Again, Miami's defense came out to play in that second half. I thought they made pretty good adjustments, taking away things that were open, especially those short, quick, I think they're called easy access routes. So Indiana had to respond a lot, I thought, in the second half. And when called upon, when necessary, Mendoza made 2 huge throws that I thought are like, okay, this is why he won the Heisman, but also why he made it to the NFL or is going to be in the NFL. is because he hit these two beautiful back shoulder fades, picking on the same cornerback, hit the same receiver, Becker, I believe is his last name, number 80. Just really, really impressive throws in the moment. Third and longs, I think, on both of them. One of them might have been fourth down. Needed those plays, and plays that, like, moments that I thought, a lesser quarterback's not making those throws, and he made them. The other thing, oh my God, the other thing was his 4th and 4 in the red zone touchdown run. Hold on, I think my kid's crying. Incredibly still asleep. The 4th and 4 run that ended up as a touchdown, 100% going down. As I said it on the broadcast, going to go down in history as this is IU lore. Like, that run was, like, that's what you do when you're playing in the final game of the season. You don't pull any punches. Like, this is it. You got to win. This is the end of the line. So you got to do whatever you can to win the game. All right, they're doing the post game press conference right now, or not post game press conference, but the trophy ceremony. Fernando speaking. Made it too far not to lay it all on the line. That's what he just said. I would die for my guys on the field. This dude is a little bit cheesy. I'm not gonna lie. He's a little cheesy. They said 1 year ago we're going to be a national championship contender. Tonight's going to be an insane night, to say the least. Okay, all right. I don't need to watch any more of this. I'm going to turn it down. Okay. So, fourth down run, huge. Put them up 2 scores. I mean, Miami still had a chance to win, even literally down to the very last play, or 3 to. Miami had a chance. Carson Beck throws an interception as they're driving. Game over. But Miami did not go away, and overall, really good game. One other thing I want to comment on the game specifically is that right at the end of the game, one of the sideline reporters caught up with Kirk Cignetti to talk to him, and he finally showed emotion. He was finally showing, like, not the more like frustrated, angry emotion that he shows on the sideline, but just like he was welling up. Obviously, when you win something like that, you achieve your life goal. Like, this was the kind of emotion that he was showing. It's like you're trying to hold it back, but you can't help it. You're on national TV. You got so many things that you have to do still. Like, you want to show it, but you can't. But you have no choice. That's what it was like, and I enjoyed seeing that from a guy who is just like been known as the no emotion guy. But ESPN, why you gotta be zooming in so far on his face? Why you gotta zoom all the way in on his face? Just because he's showing that emotion? You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta give him the extreme close-up. You did not have to do that. Okay, so I had to take that pause and watch the what Fernando was going to say there on that stage, because this morning, or earlier Monday morning, I posted a thread that said, if IU wins tonight, it'll be good for the state of Indiana. If IU wins tonight and Fernando Mendoza publicly denounces ICE in his MVP speech, it'll be good for the country. I then said that also, if he does this, I will renounce my Purdue fandom and become an IU fan, but only if he steps up and does that. Well, you watched me play-by-play it here. You didn't watch me. You listened to me play-by-play it here live in real time, except this is recorded. And he said nothing about anything going on, which many of the people who commented on that thread would have you believe was going to be the case, because politics don't belong in sports, is, I guess, what I'm getting at with this thread. So the thread kind of went a little viral. I think it's got 1,000 likes, 100 comments. I had to change the who can reply to that thread because some trolls had hopped in there and were popping off against what I was saying. The sentiment, for the most part, keep sports out of politics. And then because I had mentioned ICE, a lot of comments had to deal with illegals, quote unquote, because obviously it's good that ICE is, what somebody else said, cleaning up our streets or cleaning up the country. Oh, very frustrating to be in that space and to see those responses, and not surprised that people were coming out of the woodwork to say those things. But one particular response stood out to me, and I was going to respond to it on Threads, but I decided I would do it here. So one of the commenters asked me, how much hate do I have in my heart? And I'm just like, how much hate do I have in my heart? I'm asking him to denounce a illegitimate federal agency that is enacting terror on citizen and non-citizen alike. When I think about the word hate, I think about the rhetoric coming out of the highest levels of government right now. I think about the door-to-door immigration enforcement operations happening in Minneapolis. I think about the head of this agency of immigration enforcement and him wearing garb literally modeled after the SS, the Hitler's police force, the SS police force. That's what I think about when I think about hate. And obviously, by the number of people who commented on there that were, I guess, not liberal or progressive, the idea that to stand against that type of rhetoric is hateful. To stand against the indiscriminate corporal punishment, literal shooting and murdering, killing of protesters, citizen and non-citizen alike. I guess that means you have hate in your heart if you want to denounce those things. And I think that, and it's not that the comment got to me, it's just that I think it was two things. I think one, it made it very clear to me that social media is going to social media, and the trolls are always going to troll. And there's not really much you can do about it other than either not engaging or just not posting about it at all. Which, I'm considering for sure. The other thing it makes me think about, though, is how just, I don't want to say indoctrinated, but I'm struggling to think of another word to use. Just how honestly, the thing that I'm thinking about the most is just how much hate somebody else, like someone who says that, has in their heart. To assume that somebody asking someone to use their privilege to denounce basically a terrorist organization would be hateful. And like Renee Nicole Good, I'm not fucking mad at the people specifically. Okay, that's not true. I am mad at the people that are taking part in this, that are doing this for whatever the reason they're doing it. There's not a good justification at all to be joining ICE, to be enacting these terror campaigns across the country, or at least in parts of the country, soon to be across the country if things keep going in the direction that they're going. It is like, I don't I am mad at those people. And at the end of the day, oh, wait, maybe not though. Like, I want to say it starts at the top because it does start at the top, but it also starts at our foundations and our roots. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is the whole system is rotten, and we have a lot of work to do if we are going to actually function in a society that works for people, for all people, and supports its most marginalized and vulnerable people, instead of working to further marginalize, further oppress, further subjugate those people. Because, and I'll probably talk about this week. Never mind. I ain't going to talk about it. I'll talk about it later this week. But I got a lot of things that I've been thinking about in regards to what has been like why these detentions are happening. And obviously everybody knows why, but like I think there's another layer of why that we are not really talking about, or I haven't seen a lot of people talking about outside of the Black community specifically. So I'm going to talk about that later this week on the show. But yeah, okay. This has already been 20 minutes, so I need to wrap this up. I'm dead tired, if you can't tell. I'm delirious. All of that to say is that I don't have to renounce my Purdue fandom because Fernando Mendoza, as incredible as he played tonight, and deservedly so, being named the offensive MVP, and shout out to IU for winning this national championship, he did not fulfill his end of my thread, of my one-sided thread, and denounced ICE publicly. And you know what? That's okay. Sports figures specifically, professional or college or otherwise, are not the paragon or the beacon or the person that I am expecting to lead in terms of conversations around society or injustice. I just think it would be nice. And that's what I said to somebody on Threads, is that I wish that it's that I don't need people to ruin their lives for me, specifically. What I am interested in always is when people attain privilege or have privilege, what are they doing with that privilege? Are they hoarding it for themselves? Are they using it to harm? Or are they using it to make sure harm does not occur to other people? Are they using their seat at the table to do things differently or create more seats, bring more seats, create bigger table, make whatever we need to happen? How are we utilizing our privilege? That's all I think about with people that might find themselves in positions like a very famous sports athlete. Is when you're in that position, you 100% don't have to fuck up the bag and say things that might fuck up the bag. And that's kind of what activism is like you have to sacrifice something, and most likely that something is gonna carry a monetary value. It's gonna be a fiscal hit for you, for whoever. And I know that because I've seen it happen to me. I've seen it happen to my friends who have spoken out about things. And just generally, if you read books by Black people, you'll know that to attain privilege and then use that privilege to try and help your community generally is looked upon or unfavorably by the majority white elite upper class, who generally is where you're attaining the privilege, but not even there, even in upper middle class, even in the middle class. Yeah. So that's all. Shout out to IU. I am fully expecting Purdue to be here in Indianapolis in March or in April for the Final Four and then the national championship, and then they win the national championship, and then I can go to sleep peacefully. Please, 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 God, let that happen. All right, y'all. I am going to get out of here. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in to episode 12. Again, shout out to IU. Shout out to Bloomington. Shout out to all the Hoosiers out there. Happy for you, I guess. It's fine. Everything's fine. Fuck ICE. And I've been Patrick. Till tomorrow.